Hello, and welcome to another episode of She's Just Crazy. For those tuning in for the first time, my name is Lani. I'm here to act as your big sister or best friend and let you know that you're not alone in this crazy world. Well, hello, and happy Tuesday when I'm recording this, Thursday when you're listening to it. How has everyone been? I know I've certainly been busy. The last couple of weeks, I've just feel like I've flown by. I feel like I was literally just talking to you guys, but I definitely miss talking to you guys, that's for sure. So what's been happening? I know a lot has been happening in my life. So I recently had my birthday. So I'm 21. Woo! So that was a really, really fun day. I had a really good time with my family and my friends. My best friend came down as well from Wollongong, which was really exciting, and I was really, really grateful to see her. I haven't seen her in a little while, so that was really fun. And yeah, I just had a really good time with family and friends. And thank you to all my family and friends listening. That made it really special. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, so I was thinking about today's episode, and I was thinking what I wanted to do with it. And I think, like, reflecting on turning 21, I was like, what do I want to do with today's episode? And I think I'm going to do 21 things I wish I knew before 21, or just 21 tips and tricks that I've kind of learnt along the way, because sometimes it can be hard, and like you look back on things and you go, oh, I wish I'd known that, or I wish I'd done that earlier. And that's kind of what today's episode is going to be a bit about, is going to be things that I go, I wish someone had told me that. But yeah, what else? But first, what else have I done with my fortnight since I've talked to you guys last? I went to Floriade. So that's really exciting for those that don't know and that aren't based in Canberra. So Floriade is essentially our big annual flower show, mostly tulips, but it's got other flowers mixed in as well. I try and go every year since I literally live here now, but I remember growing up as a kid, we would try and come every year, and it's just so much fun. It's so beautiful. The theme this year was science, so that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. I went twice this year. So I went one with my good friend, and then I went once with my partner. So it was really good, and I think I liked it better than last year. I don't know, controversial opinion. Last year was really good too, so it's really hard to kind of choose which one because both were really good. But I don't know, I think this year was just a lot more colourful maybe? I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I did. Went to Floriade twice. Just been working, got 2 weeks left of uni, which is very good. I've just got 4 assessments, I think, which is a little crazy. But anyone listening going through uni, I know how you feel. It's stressful, but just put your head down, knuckle up, and we will be at the end very shortly. And those going through exams, good luck, breathe. Remember to just study hard if you can, but just do your best. That's all you can do in a lot of the exam situations. Yeah, just do your best. But yeah, what else is coming up? Oh, I've got a wedding this weekend. One of my really good friends is getting married, which is really exciting. So I'm a bridesmaid for that. So I get to go to my hometown again and yeah, be a bridesmaid in her wedding, which I'm really excited about. So that will be really fun. Yeah, so that's about it for my couple weeks. But I wanted to get into my product recommendation of the week. As you know, this is a non-sponsored part of my podcast. Well, my podcasts aren't sponsored in general, but this is completely non-sponsored. All thoughts, feelings, and opinions, as always, are my own. So, this week's product is kind of a person who produces products. But anyway, so there's a story behind this. So, when I went to Floriade the other week, my second time, I was wandering around and I came across this lovely young lady, and she was painting, and she had paints for sale, and paintings for sale, and they were the most beautiful paintings I've ever seen in a long time, and they were just floral paintings. Some of them had ducks in them, so those that listen to me or know me in my real life know that I have a weird fascination with ducks. So I ended up buying one of her little small prints with beautiful flowers in it, and I had 2 ducks in it. And that's going to go on my feature wall I'm making in my new house. If you've been listening for the last few weeks, you know that I got a new apartment. So that's going to go on the feature wall in my new house. But I wanted to shout her out. She's a local Canberra artist. I'm so sorry in advance if I absolutely butcher her name, but she's on Instagram and you should go follow her and support her. But her name is Inka Baguette. So I'm so sorry again if I absolutely butchered that name. But it's spelled Ineka, and her last name is Voigt. So definitely go support her. She's a young woman. She's a Canberra artist. She paints outside and in the community. She has commissions available. I think she also does work at the local farmers markets at Epic Park, which I need to go back to. I haven't been in ages, but yeah, that's my product / person recommendation of the week. My first tip, number 21, is meal plan. Now, I know I've mentioned this before in my moving to uni episode, but I think meal planning, everyone talks about it and all the influencers on TikTok are like, meal plan is so good, but it actually is so good. So since I've moved into the new apartment with my partner, something that we've been really actively trying to do is meal plan. And it may sound simple, but it is a lifesaver when you get to Thursday and you go, oh my gosh, I've just got home from work, I've just got home from uni, what am I having for dinner? And having a meal plan and the ingredients in your fridge as well, which is very handy, allows you to just be able to grab them, put them on, and you know exactly what you're doing. And also, if you can make meals that you can get leftovers out of, that is also what I would recommend, because you can make them for lunches, dinners, that sort of thing. And it just makes it really, really kind of easy to be able to do that. So that's tip 21. Tip 20, sorry, I can't count today, is wear sunscreen. And this is something I probably don't listen to myself enough. And I definitely don't wear as much sunscreen as I should. But everyone says, I don't need to wear sunscreen, I'm inside all day, blah, 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 blah. No, wear sunscreen, even if you think you're going to be inside most of the day. Because not only the sun doesn't just burn outside. Like, if you often end up being outside more than you think you will if you're going to be inside, if that makes sense. So wear sunscreen. And if you're someone like me that just absolutely burns and does not tan as much as I wish I did, definitely sunscreen is a lifesaver. And it doesn't have to be the real thick, heavy stuff either. It can just be your spray. I know there's a brand, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I think it's Quick Spray or something along those lines. But they do a really nice sunscreen, and it's got like blue light protection as well. Again, completely not sponsored, but that's the one that I use, which I would recommend. Or you can get tinted moisturizers if you're a makeup wearer, stuff like that. But wear sunscreen, it's really, really important, and your older skin will thank you later. My next tip, 19, is be unique. You don't have to fit in. And that is something that took me a while to learn, especially going through high school. A lot of us think, oh, we've got to fit in, we've got to be trendy, we've got to be cool. No, you don't. Just be yourself. There's nothing better than being yourself. And I know a lot of people will say that and say, oh, just be yourself, it's fine. But no, actually being yourself is one of the best things you can possibly do. And don't be afraid to show what you love and who you love and who you are as well. Like, don't let the world and other people shape your identity. That brings me to number 18. Yes, 18 is find something you're good at. Now, I think coming to uni can be really hard, especially if you're moving. You don't have the support systems around that you might have had before, and you don't have maybe your sporting teams that you would have had from school, or you don't have your friends around. So finding something you're good at can really help build those communities and really give you a sense of self, whether that's being the top of your basketball team, whether that's being, I'm really good at guitar, whether that's being, I'm really good at dancing. Just find something. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be sport, doesn't have to be academic. It could be a little thing like I'm really good at making paper flowers, something like that. Just find something you're good at and stick with it. Because not only will it give you joy, but it could even turn into a business or something if you're really good at it. So yeah, find something you're good at. Number 17, which is kind of a contradiction, but it is don't say no to things. Now, I am someone that needs to start saying no to things, so a tip to myself should be start saying no to things. But what I mean by don't say no to things is take every opportunity that is presented to you. For example, this radio station, this radio show, I wouldn't have had this if I didn't just put my hand up and say, yeah, you know what, I'll give it a go. And while I may not be the best at it, you guys can be the judge of that, but it's something that I've really enjoyed, and hopefully if it helps just one person and it helps just one woman or one person listening or someone's interested in it, then that's gives me joy, and that gives me something to keep on working to and something to keep on striving to. But I think it's really fun. So don't say no to things. My next tip, number 16, is going to contradict what I just said, but it's okay to say no to things sometimes. And you may be like, Lani, but you just told me don't say no to things. And yes, well, I did just tell you to not say no to things. I think if you're saying yes to everything to the point where you don't have free time for yourself, or you're getting burnt out, or you're getting exhausted, that's when it becomes an issue. So something I've kind of I had to learn to do for myself, especially in the last few years, is sometimes it's okay to say no to things. Obviously, you don't want to be saying no to things all the time. That's when it can become a bit of an issue, but it's okay to look after your mental health first, is what I'm saying. It's okay to look after yourself. If you can't make it to that event, it's okay. You can't make it to that event. It's not the end of the world. You got to look after your mental health. Otherwise, you will be completely burnt out. And that brings me to number 15. Planning is king. And that kind of goes with what I've said the last 2 bits of advice. But planning is king. Have a diary ready. And I know I said that in my uni episode, so I'm trying not to repeat myself. But it works in a bit of everything. But have a diary ready. Plan your life. And that is something I've been completely shocking at lately, is planning my life. Whether that's been a diary on your phone, whether that's an actual diary, whether that's even your hand. Sometimes I'm right on my hand, which I know you're not meant to do, and it's not good for you, but I do it anyway. So planning is king. It just helps your brain feel less messy. It helps your life feel less messy. So yeah, definitely planning is king. Welcome back to She's Just Crazy, and you're on with Lani, and we are talking 21 things I wish I knew before I turned 21. So we're up to number 14, everybody. So we're getting through the list, I promise. But number 14 is do not, no matter what anyone says, do not procrastinate. And again, I am absolutely notorious for procrastinating. I'm so bad at procrastinating. Everyone will be like, Lani, are you even listening to your own advice? And the answer is no, I'm not listening to my own advice. But it's something I'm really actively starting to do, is completing tasks when they due, before they are due. Kind of like I said on the uni episode, which was get your tasks in before it's due. This is the same, but this could apply to anything, whether that's cleaning your house, cleaning your cat's litter box, cleaning, I don't know, the windows, putting out the recycling, emailing that person you were meant to email. It just makes your life so much more organized. And that's when planning, my previous tip, number 15, kind of helps as well, is if you're planning, you're not procrastinating. So they kind of work hand in hand a little bit. My next one, which I probably think is one of the most important tips I tell myself and I tell other people, is give 110% to everything you do, no matter what it is. I think it's really, really important to just give 110% to everything you do. Just try your best, and that's all you can do. And I think it applies to a lot of things in life. My energy and my output, if I'm giving 110% to everything I do and to everyone, I know that I can't give any more, and I know that I can't do any more, or I can't be any more of myself. And I think giving 110%, to me at least, obviously is different to everyone, and these advice are just something that I've kind of learnt along the way, and it may be different for everyone, obviously, and obviously I'm not a doctor or anything, so these may not actually, well, they're not scientific advice, so definitely don't take them for scientific advice, please. But when I give 110% to everything, it allows me to be unique. It allows me to be able to find something I'm good at. So I think if you try your best and know you can do no more, or know you can give no more to something, then that's when you feel happiest and set in yourself. So we're up to a number 13, 12. We're up to 12. A piece of fruit a day keeps the doctor away. I don't think I need to really explain any more than that. But yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Number 11. Now, these next two are going to be finance related. So number 11 is having a savings account. Now, having a savings account is really important, and something that my mum always kind of told me about having when I was little. I think it's super, super important, because having a saving account allows you that little bit of, I guess, a bit of a safety net a little bit. And I think having a savings account, especially if, God forbid, you go through periods where you're not working, or you go through periods when you're unwell and can't work, having a saving account really allows you that freedom to be able to not stress as much. And I think it allows you to not work paycheck to paycheck as well. So that's something I'm really trying to be more mindful of, is making sure I have an active savings account. Which brings me to tip number 10. I really hope I've got my numbers right. I'm so sorry if I don't, but tip number 10 is have savings goals. Now, savings goals, I think, really help to be able to save, and it could be for anything. It could be for a new car, it could be for your bills, it could be for a new phone. So I'll let you into kind of my savings goals at the moment, but I'm saving for, so I've got a bills folder, I've got my car folder, so any car bills, stuff like that. I'm saving for a holiday, so my partner and I are planning to go overseas next year, so we're both saving for a holiday. And then I've got like a new phone, so I'm saving for a new phone as well. So, and how much you put into it each week, each fortnight, no matter how much you get paid, can be completely up to you. So it's completely up to you how much you split it. It's completely up to you how much you kind of want to put into each category. But it could be as little as $20. Like, anything helps in the long run. And I think what we're not taught about in school is how to save and how it's important to save. So I find splitting mine up into little categories and having savings goals really helps. Which brings me to number 9. Not finance related. Number 9 is exercise. Exercise is so, cannot preach this enough, so important for your mental health, especially if you're a bit like me and have struggled or are struggling with your mental health. I think being able to exercise, even if it's just a walk around campus, walk around your neighborhood, go for a jog, go to the gym, go for a swim. Swimming's a really good one. I think exercising is something that's really, really important and really will get your endorphin levels up, and it's just a really good way to keep yourself healthy. Similarly, along those lines, we're up to number 8 apparently. Wow, we're getting through the list pretty quickly, guys. Number 8 is don't struggle alone. If you're struggling, please reach out for help. There is a number of different hotlines. There's people on campus, your GP, even your friends. If you're struggling with whatever it is, please reach out. I think it's so important to not struggle alone and not necessarily put on this facade that you're okay, because it's okay not to be okay. And I think that's something I've definitely had to learn a lot, especially as I've moved out of home, is it's okay to not be alone. If that's true, but it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to be upset or be anxious or be angry, but just don't struggle alone. Reach out to people for support. There's definitely people around. So let's get back into our fun tips. We are up to number 7. We're getting through our list of 21 things I wish someone had told me before I turned 21. Because in case you didn't know, it was my birthday last week. I just love me, I'll say that. So we're up to number 7. And number 7, I've written, do something creative. Now, you may be going, Lani, why do I need to do something creative? That seems a bit silly and counterproductive, and I have no time to do something creative. And I think doing something creative just activates a different part of your brain. And I think by doing something creative, whether that be colouring in, I've really gotten into colouring in lately. The ones from the colouring books from Big W are really good. Not Big W. Oh, Big W has them, but Kmart has some really good ones. Like, they're really cutesy, like block art. I love them. Colouring in. So definitely would recommend colouring in. You can do some origami. I've really gotten into origami lately. You can do some sewing, some crocheting, some knitting, just anything that uses that creative part of your brain. And I think as adults, we kind of like push this side of our brain a little bit to the side. And I think life becomes busy. We all have busy lives. We all have things to do in our lives. And I think that creative side is often not used as much, obviously depending on what everyone does for work, and it will vary obviously, but I think that creative stuff can often be forgotten. And I think it was something that is so prominent when we were little, is like having this big push on creativeness, and I think it's not such a big push when we're adults, which I think is really sad. So that's tip number 7. Tip number 6 is have rest days. And I think it's very similar to all the other kind of tips. They're all very similar and they all could apply to each other. But have rest days. And I think, to me, a rest day is where I'm doing absolutely nothing. And I definitely have not had enough of them lately. So I think not having your rest days can lead to your exhaustion. So definitely have a rest day and do whatever a rest day means to you. Whether that's going for a walk on the lake, whether that's going to your favourite coffee shop, whether that's going to an antique store, whatever resting means to you, do it. And I think having rest days just helps you reset. To me, a rest day is probably slightly different to everyone else's, but to me, a rest day means laying in bed until about like midday, not having to go anywhere, sleeping in, having no responsibilities, not feeling like I have to be doing anything or I'm behind on anything, and just being able to do whatever I want. That is a rest day to me. Which leads kind of to my tip number 5, which we've got 5 left, guys. We're getting through it. Tip number 5 kind of goes with rest days, but this one is have self-care days. Now, rest days and self-care days can be different, can be the same. It really depends on the person. But to me, self-care day is slightly different. So to me, kind of like what I said, my rest day is just like lying in bed and chilling and not having to do anything. Whereas a self-care day to me is cleaning my apartment, making sure my apartment is tidy and neat and so I can work, for example. It's maybe getting my nails done. It's washing my hair. It's going for that walk around the lake. It's going for that run. It's stuff like that. Whereas I'm not necessarily resting, but I'm doing stuff that makes me feel good. And number four is sleep. Now, everyone says this, and probably every influencer, like influential TikToks, podcasts that you probably listen to, which I haven't done my daily podcast mention, but we are a podcast on Spotify. So if you like listening to my voice in a short form content, please go listen to She's Just Crazy on Spotify. And if you're listening on Spotify, hi, thanks for listening. But yeah, sleep is so important. And it doesn't necessarily have to be your 8 hours, although obviously that's what's recommended and that's what would be great. But like, I understand that sometimes that doesn't happen. But having a deep sleep and a good sleep is really, really important for the day. And while you may think, oh, I've got to get that assignment done, I've got to pull that all-nighter to get that assignment done, by using some of the other tips such as planning and not procrastinating, you'll be able to sleep a bit more. And I'm definitely not perfect, and I'm definitely guilty of doing this. So it definitely is something that doesn't happen all the time, and like no one is perfect. So I think, yeah, just trying to get as much sleep as you can. And that could even be through the form of literally just taking a nap. That could be it. Number 3, I've written, find someone who adds to you. Now, you may be going, Lani, what does this mean? I think I'm talking about this more in a like relationship sense. It's finding someone who adds to your life, not dims your shine or takes away from your life or kind of puts you down in a way. And I think it may be common sense, and I think it may be something that, I don't know, you go, Lani, that's just common sense, of course. But I think really understanding what your values are in a relationship is really important, and finding out someone that adds and brings that shine to your life and definitely doesn't take away from that at all. And I'm very, very grateful to say that I'm with someone who does that. And it just adds so much to your life when you're in that healthy, happy place. Welcome back, and you're listening to She's Just Crazy, and we're talking 21 things I wish I'd known before I turned 21. So we got our last 3. I think I miscounted my numbers somewhere, and I think I said the last one was 3, and we should only have 2 left, but I'm not quite sure. But I'm going to give you a bonus just to make up for it in case I miss my numbers. But my next one is academia is not everything. So university is not everything. High school isn't everything. You will be okay if you don't do as well as you thought you would do. It will be okay. My next one is it's okay to be weird. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to like that thing that maybe no one else likes. It's okay to express yourself. It's okay to be yourself. Like, don't be afraid to be weird. It's okay. We're all a little weird. I know I am, for sure. My next one, and I think my last one, this should be 21, but I'll give a bonus in case I've missed one. My next one is do things by yourself. And I think by doing things by ourselves, we really learn who we are, and whether that's just as simple as going to the markets by ourselves, going to a concert by ourselves, as we talked about in last week. It can be as simple as that, and I think that's something that's really kind of important, is the way we learn who we are and who our identity is through being able to do stuff by ourselves. So definitely would recommend. And my bonus, in case I messed up my numbers, is kind of encapsulates everything I've been saying in this episode, is just be yourself. That is my biggest tip, and that is something that I've learned through 21 years of life, is to be yourself, and don't be afraid to be yourself. And who you are is amazing. Who you are is brilliant. Who you are is enough. You are loved, and you don't have to be anyone else in this world except for yourself. And on that note, that is 21 things I wish I knew before I turned 21. And that brings me to the end of today's episode, which is a little crazy. I don't know, 45 minutes has just gone like that. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm really looking forward to speaking to you again sometime soon. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening to She's Just Crazy. I've been your host, Lani.